The 23-24 season has been a year of massive career revivals. Dennis Undav went from being almost useless at Brighton to being one of the most prolific forwards in the Bundesliga, steering Stuttgart to an impressive second-place finish and earning a call-up to the German national team. Ross Barkley went from being a Nice flop with no hope of reviving his career to being one of the most impressive midfielders in the Prem and a talisman for Luton Town. And Isco went from being a Sevilla flop and immensely frustrating to producing his best form for Real Betis in at least 5 years. However, there has been no greater career revival than Rey Manaj. Wait, who? Well, what if I told you that Manaj was once a promising wonder kid, being the next great hope of Albanian football? He was very prolific at youth level, being sought after by every super club. However, at almost every club he signed for, he was massively disappointing. For the national team, he was not at all prolific and could only score against weak opposition, with his 7 goals for the national team coming against Kazakhstan, Andorra, Moldova, Kosovo, and San Marino, who still haven't won a football match. But this season has been a massive revival for the striker, being the joint 3rd highest goal scorer in the Turkish Super League, outscoring genuine superstars while playing for an unspectacular mid-table team. He not only looks to be called up to the Euros, but to be the starting striker. But how did this career salvation happen so radically? What makes him so good? And what does the future hold for the Albanian? Rey Manaj was born on February 24, 1997 in the town of Lushnig in Albania. He moved to Italy with his parents, where he would start his football career. After failed trials at AC Milan and Atalanta, he joined the Piacenza Youth Academy at the age of 11. After winning a few trophies there, the academy was declared bankrupt in 2012, and Manaj moved to Cremonese, managed by Gigi Simeone. Soon after, Cremonese loaned him to the Sampdoria Youth Academy, managed at the time by Francesco Bedone. While at the academy, Manaj expanded his mental gameplay. While during a training scrimmage against the first team, Manaj saw the goalkeeper, Junior da Costa, went wide. He tried to catch him by surprise with a shot from the middle of the field. However, the shot finished wide. Bedone told Manaj, "If you do this the next time, I will replace you." A few weeks later, in another match, Manaj made the same effort, but this time the ball ended straight into the back of the net. Recalling what happened in the training match against the Sampdoria first team, Manaj addressed Bedone saying, "Coach, so is this good?" After the loan to Sampdoria expired, Manaj returned to Cremonese. He made his debut at the age of 17 and scored his first professional goal in a 1-1 draw against Alexandria Calcio, becoming the youngest player to score a goal in this category. Unfortunately, he would only score one more goal in the 26 matches he played in that season. Despite being not all that prolific, he would make his debut for the Albania U21s, and later that year, Manaj fulfilled his dream of playing for his country when he got called up to the Albania national team. He had a whole host of European giants from Atletico Madrid, Roma, and Juventus wanting his signature, but he was sold to Inter Milan for a fee of €1 million, and he signed a 5-year contract. Manaj claimed that it was a dream, but one that he wasn't ready for, because the following season, he made only 4 Serie A appearances for Inter, playing a combined 34 minutes. The only time he played a full 90 was against Cagliari, where despite playing well, he was disappointed not to score, talking to Rai Sport saying, "I am not pleased, to be honest. I am a striker, and my job is to score, which is why I will go to bed angry." Unfortunately, that trend would persist, as he would not score a single goal that season. However, it is worth mentioning that he did well for Inter Milan Primavera, scoring 7 goals in 7 games. Over the next 3 seasons, he was sent out on loan to Pescara in Serie A, Pisa in Serie B, and Granada in the Spanish Segunda Division, scoring a combined 5 goals in the 49 games he played out on loan to those clubs. Despite these setbacks at club level, the reason many Albanian fans felt Manaj was full of promise was because of his form for the Albania U21s. Throughout his time there, he would score an impressive 6 goals in 703 minutes, or 1 goal every 111 minutes. This kept Albanian fans hopeful. hopeful that this promising wonderkid would come good, and that his poor club form would not carry on throughout his career. Manaj's final loan move would come with Segunda Division side Albacete on a one-year loan deal with an obligation to make it permanent. His form would be decent, scoring 7 goals in 1,315 minutes, or 1 goal every 188 minutes for Alba, which would convince Albacete to sign him on a permanent deal, expecting that he would improve on his form from the preceding season. However, the thing about that previous season was that he would only score goals in purple patches, which would begin to frustrate fans, since he was never consistent with his performances. This would carry on to the following season, as he would only score 3 goals in 10 games. Halfway through the 2019-20 season, Albacete sold Manaj to FC Barcelona. Well, not really. It was Barca B, in the 3rd division of Spanish football, scoring 2 goals in 9 matches to close out the season. But in the for the Albanian forward, he would hit double figures for the first time in his career, scoring a whopping 14 goals as well as an additional 2 assists in 1,777 matches, which is 1 goal contribution every 111 minutes. Which was, up to that point, the most productive season of his. He would never score more than 5 goals in a season. While the Albanian was signed by the Barcelona first team, he was immediately loaned out to Spezia, scoring only 5 goals before then being signed by Watford for €1.5 million on a 3-year contract, being a massive disappointment, which resulted in the termination of his contract. His career prospects were looking horrible, being a free agent at the age of only 26 and failing to settle at any club he played for. He was a disappointment, a failed wonderkid, a false prophet for Albanian football. However, to the surprise of many, Rey Manaj was handed a lifeline. You see, while all of the headlines have been on Saudi Arabia's massive recruitment of aging, big-name players, Turkey has more or less done the same thing in recent years. They are signing bona fide superstars, securing the signings of Zaha, Mertens, Tadic, Dzeko, Bonucci, Lavakovic, Icardi, and so many more players. Clubs in the Turkish Super League were, and still are, like hyenas, sniffing around seamlessly every player and waiting for the opportunity to pounce. Eventually, but also somewhat surprisingly given his form in the 2 previous seasons, Turkish side Sivasspor signed the Albanian on a 3-year deal. This was his last chance in a respectable top flight, and the last chance that he would probably have at any club again. But something magical would happen to the former Watford flop. The start of the season was filled with more disappointment, going on a 4-match goalless run. However, manager Bülent Ugin had faith in the Albanian marksman, giving him more minutes and giving him time to find his feet. Manaj would repay Ugin's faith in him tenfold, scoring his first 2 goals in the next 3 games that he played, made more impressive by the fact that he only played for 79 minutes combined. After that, it was game over, as he would go on a run where he netted a whopping 20 goals from November onward, even scoring a hat-trick in the Turkish Cup against Artvin Hatayspor, and braces against Trabzonspor, Kayserispor, and Gaziantep FK, as well as scoring an equalizing penalty against Turkish giants Fenerbahce. He would have a total of 25 goal contributions in the 2,612 minutes he played, 1 goal contribution every 104 minutes. He would be the joint 3rd highest goal scorer in the Turkish Super League and the joint highest goal scorer who isn't playing for the Big 3. He outscored genuine superstars while playing for a team that was mid-table throughout their recent history. But how did he do this? What changed for the Albanian? Manaj typically plays as an old-school type of striker known as a target man in a 4-4-3, 4-1-4-1, or 5-4-1 formation. Typically, target men are responsible for winning long balls in the air, holding up the ball, and creating chances for other members of the team, in addition to scoring goals themselves. They are not typically out-and-out goal-scoring center forwards such as Aguero and Lewandowski, and are not penalty box predators like Inzaghi. While he is only 6 foot, which is typically short for a target man, he is winning his aerial duels with 2.34 wins per 90. Manaj is also tasked with pressing high up the field on defense and looking to either win possession or force a turnover. This would be explained by his 12 yellow cards and him being in the 90th percentile for fouls committed. However, his defensive stats are insane for a forward. He is in the 91st percentile for ground duels won with 6.654 wins per 90, meaning that he is essentially a pressing and defending machine. He also tends to stay high up the pitch and use clever movement or pace to run in behind the defenders to score a goal. This is reflected in him being in the 96th percentile for offsides. However, that isn't a problem since he is taking his shots and making the most of his opportunities. He averages 2.98 shots taken and 1.47 shots on target per 90. This gave him a shot conversion rate of 21.69%. That doesn't seem impressive, however, it does put him in the 85th percentile for this stat, which is very good for a striker. This translates to him being a menace in front of goal, being in the 98th percentile for goals scored with 0.65 goals per 90, his highest ever in a European top flight. And finally, he is in the 98th and 99th percentile for expected goals and non-penalty expected goals. Alright, I know that was a lot of boring information for those non-stat nerds out there. But my point is that he is flying high in a top 10 league and looks like a player reborn. Manaj not only looks to be called up for this summer's Euros, but even looks to be the starting striker for his country.